Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. Just trying to see if they do anything in the background. They're not. Okay. So yeah, it's been an interesting one. I'm in A Coruña today. You might have just seen the short that I posted, if not. Maybe didn't post, I'm not sure. I don't trust anything internet-related nowadays. And I say that because this is the week of internet complications. So yeah. Before I get into that, no movie talk today because we haven't watched a movie today, and I don't think we're going to, which is partially my fault. So, because like I said, we're at A Coruña right now. A Coruña is a much bigger city, so it has more options. And one of the things that you can do over here is you can find movies that are the original version of whatever movie in question with Spanish subtitles, which means a whole lot of English options. Well, I say a whole lot. As it turns out, they only offer them at certain times and for certain movies. So, for example, you've got Jurassic World Rebirth, which came out today, I think, or today in Spain. I should specify, and also 28 years later. So essentially, would be myself and my family watching either dinosaurs or zombies. Now, I might be wondering, but Jacob, you and your parents, all speak Spanish. So why would you care what language the movie is in? And that is absolutely the case. We have my aunt visiting now, so we were trying to find something that we could all enjoy. And it turns out the only option for that was in a decent time of day, because we are a significant drive away, was Jurassic World. Again, in one particular cinema, and that's supposed to be at 6:30, which would mean that we would get back right around the time that D&D is going to start, and that's pressure that no one actually needs. So we decided to forego that for today. So yeah, the classic Spectators Day. We might end up only watching 2 movies this year while we're here. Not sure, verdict's still out. We can just go to another place at some other time, and we're going to have a look in Santiago once we're there, but for the time being, I'm just glad that I can make it to D&D in general, because yeah, that almost didn't happen. Looping back round to the internet issues, I'm not sure how much was clear in the post that I was able to put out, but the internet situation was as follows. At some point, the portable internet thing that we had stopped working. Well, it didn't quite stop, but it was extremely slow. We were getting, like at its peak kilobits per second rather than megabits or anything. So, not ideal. So in this case, yeah, it was basically unusable, especially for any extreme purposes of such, for example, streaming. So yeah, that kind of limited options as far as things could go. I did do a fair amount of editing in the meantime, I'm pleased to know, and some writing, but yeah. Aside from that, we were kind of like limited to every now and then hopping around to cafes that we either knew had internet or we had discovered had internet, whether that was in the neighboring town or in the actual town that we were in, or whatever it might be. So that's why I was able to appear periodically, but not anything, consistent. And also why I did a bit of a test yesterday. Doesn't explain the audio issue I've been having. I think I've got some setting I've got to recalibrate or something. Because yeah, as far as releasing the Afmouth song goes, that was a nightmare to try and coordinate. Because yeah, if people don't remember, the idea is that those release, you know, once a month, which means, you know, I couldn't wait for Monday, because that was, you know, the first of the month, and that was when they were supposed to be, you know, resetting everything. So that's why Aidan took the reins a lot more this time than before. I did put some lyrics together, but I guess they didn't work in the video. So, you know, he had to remove them and write them out again. Which is as well that I changed all of the mistakes that were in the script that I hadn't properly clocked the first time. But yeah, the the audio issues meant that for some reason then it wouldn't, like my microphone would not pick up if I went over a certain frequency. So it's not even just high notes that were out of the question, it was basically like anything. Because normally I can record, you know, stuff like paradise, like that normally. You know, that's you know, because that was the idea originally. But whenever I like listen back to it, there was just no audio captured there. Even in some places during the song itself. Because again, it wasn't super high that was the issue. In some parts, of the main verse, it still just did not capture me at all. You know, like at the beginning, you know, where it's like, it was one single day, like that part, like it was one, like that was too high apparently. So I almost had to do like, it was one single day, and then it was like, that would have thrown me off entirely, because I was starting a different key than I was normally. And it always sounds like I'm super distant, which is weird, because I've recorded in that room before. Like, I was in there last year. I don't know what happened with my mic settings that's like also causing an issue, because that's not internet related, but you know, without internet there wasn't a way that I could really look to fix that. And they're trying to remove all the troubleshooting programs on computers for some reason. I don't know why they're doing that, Microsoft, but anyway. So yeah, it turned out disastrous. I did say to Aidan that he was able to record himself. Then, you know, it might be good for him to do that, because actually, you know, Guy and Vlad share a voice actor, and Aidan's already sung as Vlad, so it sort of made sense, I would have thought. But no, I guess I also forgot to send him the instrumental. Maybe he wasn't able to download that as easily as I can. I don't know, because he can send me music from places, but that's using like Audio Library, which is already has its own system for downloading. So I don't know. But yeah, then the video got released. It got partially blocked in places. So, you know, some places were spared the atrocity at the very least. So yeah, safe to say I'm not really happy with that one at all. But you know, we did what we could. We'll see what happens next month. Yeah, definitely something that if I'm producing that while I'm still here, it's going to be you know, a song sung by somebody else, whether that's Aidan or a different guest singer. You know, we'll find out. You know, that's the thing. And of course, I could have coordinated, you know, the notes that I couldn't capture with somebody else, but that required internet also. So, you know, a whole other thing. They get me thinking, that'd be a good trial run for Aiden, to be honest. You know, seeing how well he could do with recording a song without my direction specifically. I don't know. I mean, again, the last time he did that was Wings, but you know that got memed, of course. But you know that was also like 5 years ago, so not really. You know, we've all evolved since then, so we'll see. I mean, the Wings remake alone came out, so that's already something right there. But yeah, that was kind of the thing. So you know, in between that, it's mostly been the week has mostly been us going to the beach, taking a dip in the sea. Not quite here though. This is quite a famous beach that we've been in before, but many years ago. It's far less grey than I remember it to be. But no, the other like main one. I think I filmed down there before. Again, I think Walking Wednesday 9 was down there or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of been mostly it, to be honest. I mean, aside from that, surprisingly, I was able to do one voice acting recording session before the internet went out, while I still had the audio issues. So if you've heard me in the miraculous video that I'm going to refer to as Trash Cat by Alpha Sisters, that I reviewed yesterday, you'll know why. But yeah, they didn't seem to have much of an issue with it, which I'm relieved about. Although it does seem like they were just kind of they were doing their best to get the video out quickly, because I think actually this was like right around the time the internet issue started, where I was not I thought I sent the lines in, but it didn't actually go through at first. So within 2 hours of the video going live, they said, "Hey, can I get the lines?" I was like, "Oh, I just thought I sent them already. Here they are," because I had the file still, obviously. But yeah, the fact that they like warned like 2 hours before, like yes, I only had 3 lines in the episode, but still, by voice acting standards, that's not super long. Although I guess Alpha Sisters, as a pretty well-known channel at this point, probably is aware that they can replace people fairly easily. So I understand that. In my case, of course, I was also, supposed to judge auditions for, my own stuff, actually. And that also usually is one thing that Aiden and I judge together. I'm going to try and cross the street because the wind is getting terrible. Now I say that, but that's not going to go red at all. What is it? Okay, whatever. Okay. See if I can get a little bit of cover over here. All right, so what was I saying? The Muse and Goal auditions particularly. Yeah, they were quite something. They were an intense struggle. Oh, now the wind stops right as I go to the other. Oh, maybe that's because I've got the cover now. I don't know. Look at that sign there. Engineers and such, but this sign looks like a play area. That would have tricked me as a child for sure. Yeah. Well. Yeah. So audition wise, some of them, of course, were easy because only one person went for them. So it's like, oh well, there you go. Others, there was always a point of contention, you know, obviously between Ada and myself, because we are different human beings. But the real issue actually, there actually came in the form of Nova, weirdly enough. And it's an issue that would be perfectly fine, but was an issue because what I did was, because I knew I had to judge them in a timely fashion, I downloaded all of the audio files that people sent. But the thing is that Nova sent them in like, you know, the new like Discord voice recorder thing, which I have not figured out yet how to download, at least not on a computer. So not only did that make her make him super quiet, not only did that make him super quiet, but also it made it so I needed the internet to judge those things. Put those two things in combination, and it turns out that one of the places that we would go was in the middle of a shopping center that had really loud music. So I had to listen to an audition, pressing my headphones together, whilst also comparing it to everyone else that I had downloaded. So yeah, that was not ideal at all. But obviously not his fault. It's just because no one knew that was going to happen. And what's the situation now? Well, apparently, it was originally supposed to be that at the first part of the month it would reset, because what we thought was an issue with the internet provider turns out to be an issue with Vodafone. I think I can say the name of the provider without, you know, getting tracked by doing so, because they're the third most popular provider over here. So yes, Vodafone, particularly, there were several issues being reported, especially in Madrid, but like, you know, other places around Spain. You know, I looked at a map and saw like huge red splotches everywhere. It was like, here are all the places that people reported issues in the last 24 hours. Like, well, we're not alone. Baby, we're not alone. Speaking of Starkid, actually, as far as video watching goes, I had a lot of stuff downloaded. I rewatched Cinderella's Castle and her new musical Batman. Anyway, so yeah, we had it was not the provider's issue that we knew about at the time. As it turns out, you know, they said, "Oh, we'll be back on, at midnight," and they were right. It did return exactly when they said, and then it stopped working again. And I think because it was, you know, the first day of the month, it was supposed to reset automatically, but what didn't reset, to my understanding, is the person who gave us the box, their contract with Vodafone. My understanding is that is in question right now. So basically, we're either going to get a new SIM of some kind, or we're going to get a new box that maybe is from a different provider. And that's supposed to come, I think it was today, actually. Because yeah, it turns out, you know, again, we're out, so we're not going to be there to receive it, but in typical Spain fashion, we have warned one of our local friends, who's the guy who rented out the other house, is not available anymore, but is the one that I was in the attic space for, and I still have an unreleased video that I filmed while I was there. That's for the butter punch there. So yeah, that guy, and and hopefully he'll be around to receive, unless he's gone on holiday himself. But it's the classic thing. Sure, one of the neighbours will pick it up and then give it to us. No worries. One of the most lovable things about this country in general. But yeah, one thing that the welding teacher actually said is that you know, in the world of business and, you know, and such, everyone's sort of out for themselves, and it's very competitive, more so than the average. I mean, it's always competitive, but you know what I mean. It's you know, people aren't as willing to help each other out. Outside of that, absolutely no problems whatsoever. So, you know, there's always a light to every dark, and vice versa, I suppose. You know, balance of the world. I'm just hoping that you know, the balance will hopefully of luck will tip in our favor again for tonight. I don't think we're going to have that unless the neighbor drops it through our you know, do we ever have a letterbox? I don't think we do on that door, unless he like leaves it on our doorstep or something. I'll still be using the hotspot on this phone, but you never know. Speaking of welding, might be what they're doing, an angle grinder or something. But yeah, hopefully for those of you who are looking forward to the conclusion of The Clock That Eats, you will be hopefully satisfied and will get not even a good experience, but just you know, an experience overall, because you know, it turns because without me setting up the stream, it might end up falling apart immediately. I don't know if that's the case, but it's definitely a possibility. Hopefully we'll not come to that, and we'll be back before the time begins, because I've verified now what time it actually is, you know, conversions and whatnot. And, you know, we intend to have sorted ourselves out by then. But for now, we're going to go get some pizza for lunch. So please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. Subscribe if you're not already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.